How can we get 365% better every single year? How do we make focused exponential change in the areas of our life that really matter to us? The answer isn't using the latest and greatest AI software, although that can help, but it actually lies in the simple methodology of just focusing on getting 1% better every single day. This seems simple enough to do and fairly easy to implement. So in this video, we're going to be going through and exploring how we can make this massive growth a reality. Number one, decide. Have a strong enough why motivation. Decide on what it is you want to get good at and just focus on that. What is it that you want to commit to getting better at every single day? What is your internal or external motivation for wanting to do that? Make sure that whatever it is you want to get good at, you have enough internal or external motivation to help you really stay consistent. The key is to have something that will really be self-motivating for you to want to actually do this, because it'll be much easier to stick with something you actually want to do for the long haul. Often, if there's not a strong enough why reason, we often forget why it is that we wanted to pursue it in the first place, and then we'll just jump from one thing to the next. Eliminate distraction by choosing the few things you want to focus on, and then not looking back on the things that you said no to. This is often where self-doubt comes in, but you have to push the self-doubt aside and stay focused and committed and believe in yourself that these are the things that really matter and are important to you. A decision itself should be a promise of consistency, because a decision is an internal promise to yourself that you are going to commit to doing X, Y, and Z. Decision comes from the Latin word incision, meaning to cut off. So when we make a decision, we are cutting off all other options and we are focusing on the one thing we are doing. Number two, Kaizen. Focus on incremental improvement every single day. Kaizen is a Japanese term and a compound word for good and change, and when put together it roughly translates to meaning continuous improvement. Kaizen is generally used in businesses as a process of finding and researching small areas that can be changed or improved upon. When all these small areas are improved upon and when you combine them all together, it results in massive increase in productivity as well as revenue. The steps of using Kaizen effectively starts by identify the opportunity or problem to be explored. We obviously first need to find a problem that can be improved upon or an opportunity that we can capitalize on. Then we take a look at the current processes and procedures of how we deal with these problems or opportunities. What is the standard way that we deal with them and how can we improve upon that process? Then the next step is to develop a new solution to the problem or opportunity that we have. What can we do with the resources that we have to overcome this problem? What is the problem's root cause and what is our end goal? Then we can reverse engineer it and troubleshoot it until we find a new method for overcoming our current problem. Then we need to take the new solution we came up with, implement it into the real world, and see if our solution actually holds water. Once we've implemented the new solution, we need to study it to make sure that it works well. If we're not super happy with it, we can still make some tweaks and changes to it until we're happy with the end result. After the solution is standardized, we have officially completed the improvement cycle. This process can be infinitely done on every single aspect of the business as well as every single aspect of our lives. Number three, habits and routines. Your habits make up a large portion of your lives. As James Clear writes, the outcomes of your life are a lagging measure of your habits. There are no high performance people, only high performance habits. If we want to get 1% better every single day, one of the best places to look is what are our daily and weekly habits. What are some of the high performance habits that you want to implement to get 1% better in the area that you're focusing on? Think back to what it is you want to get 1% better at, and then choose habits that are in line with those goals. For example, if you want to become a better leader, you might want to take up the habit of reading more. If you want to improve on a certain skill, maybe swap out the evening series you watch with a Skillshare class instead. How to develop habits effectively is by following the simple habit loop: cue, craving, response, and reward. A cue is something that triggers a certain behavior. We as humans have many different cues for many different things in our lives. These cues can be scents, visuals, environments, and emotions, etc. For example, if you are a smoker, the moment you start feeling stressed, you'll start to crave a cigarette. The cue is very closely followed by the craving. It is what drives us to take action towards our reward. We can create our own cues and eventually cravings to help us create new and better habits. For example, if you wanted to start the habit of running every day after work, put your gym clothes and running shoes somewhere visible where immediately once you come back from work, you'll see them as you open the door, so that you have that visual cue exactly when you open the door, that you don't have enough time to kind of second guess or distract yourself, but that it is much easier for you and as less friction as possible for you to start the habit. Try and decrease the amount of steps that's needed from cue to actually performing the task. If there's a lot of stuff in between you actually thinking about running and going for a run, odds are that if there's more steps involved in that process, you're not going to. But if there's a quick decision of you need to go running, your clothes are there, you can quickly go and change and then you can run, it's a lot easier for you to actually implement that habit. Whereas if you still have to get everything out of the cupboard, get dressed and everything, it's going to take you a long time to get set up. Craving that you can associate with that cue is that after you've done the run, you can reward yourself with a nice shower and good food. Then we take a response to that craving by doing the action and going for a run. This is the habit in action, and once you've completed that habit, you reward yourself, and that reinforces the habit you want to build. We can have all the goals and all the motivation in the world, but if we do not have a system to implement it and take action on it, we are bound to fail. Number 4, consistency and discipline. In order to get 365% better every year, we have to strive to get better 1% every single day. This makes a lot of sense and seems very simple to do. But if we are not consistent, and if we do not plan right, and if we do not have the self-discipline to be consistent in working on what we want to focus on every single day, we will start to make compromises. We will say, I won't work on it today, I'll work on it tomorrow and do 2% tomorrow. We start to say that I'll do it tomorrow instead of today, and then I'll just do 2% tomorrow instead of doing 1% today. Eventually 2% becomes 3% and 3% 4% and on until we eventually give up and decide that we're not going to work on it this year, we'll start again next year, or we'll just give up entirely. This is where we need to be disciplined in our pursuit of incremental improvement on a daily basis. Set deadlines, put it in your calendar, have an accountability partner, use habit tracking software, anything that you can use to reduce the friction of you actually doing the task and to help you to stay disciplined. This goes hand in hand with what we spoke about previously with habit creation, but we cannot create habit unless we're disciplined and consistent. It is crucial that we realize how important these two things are on our journey to become 1% better every single day. If we don't focus on discipline and consistency, we might start our journey on improvement good, but we won't go far. Write a daily highlight and set it in your calendar. A daily highlight is something that I spoke about in my previous video, which I'll link above. A daily highlight is essentially the 1 to 3 major priorities that you want to set out for the day. It is the top few activities or projects that you want to tackle during the day, and if you do that, you'll be happy with how the day turned out. If you want to improve daily, set your daily highlight with things that you want to improve. Whatever it is that you want to improve on needs to be part of your daily highlight. Set your intent for what you're going to get to at the beginning of the day. Jim Rohn used to say, if you don't design your own life plan, chances are you'll fall into someone else's plan. And guess what they have planned for you? Not much. So write out your intent for the day and check them off once you're done. This will give you a sense of accomplishment and reinforce the habits that you want to put in place. Number 5. Active patience and the compound effect. Making 1% progress every single day doesn't seem like much when we look at a day on its own. It's progress that you probably won't even be able to see or notice a difference, and that can often be quite discouraging. It's probably going to take quite a while for you to actually see a noticeable difference. In the beginning, your habits will take conscious effort, and the progress and results you see will be slim to none. This is where we need to learn to be patient and keep working on the system. The compounding effect will start to kick in after a while of consistent effort, and that is where you'll start to see the difference. The compound effect is a principle of reaping big rewards by doing small consistent actions again and again over time, and will result in greater payoffs than small intense bursts of effort over a short period of time. So keep working on the system and soon you will see massive rewards. Number 6. Daily reflections. At the end of the day, when you've done and accomplished all that you can do that day, a reflection journal is a good way to go through the day and see what went right, what went wrong in the day, and the lessons that you've learned during the day. This can help us reflect on the lessons that we learned during the day and help aid and speed our learning process. This is also a great way to mentally shut down for the day, because we can sometimes feel like there's always more that needs to be done, especially if we had a bad day. So it's a great way to take stock, write down all the things we feel and what we feel like we still have to get to, and leave it at that. It can be quite therapeutic because it helps you to take everything that's going on in your mind and putting it on paper so that you can actually finish the day. It allows you to be more calm and relaxed and satisfied with what you're able to get done. And you can now rest and relax because tomorrow is waiting for you. Lastly, tip number 7, shift your mindset to become a lifelong student. Adopt the mindset of a lifelong learner. Socrates wrote, "I am the wisest man alive, for I know one thing, and that is that I know nothing." To become better is to always bear in mind that there is always more to learn. We need to keep this thirst for improvement and thirst for knowledge alive throughout our lives. It is when we say we have learnt enough and we have made enough progress that we stop learning and stop growing as people. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep improving, and fall in love with the process of becoming better. And realize that there is no end destination for a lifelong learner, but a joyous lifetime of constant study and learning. So to wrap up, if we take these steps and we implement getting 1% better every single day for the next 365 days, I think we'll be shocked with the amount of progress we make in a year. If we pursue this path of continuous improvement and making improving ourselves a daily habit, we will start to live a more healthy, happy, intentional life. If you really want to take action on this video, I've created a few action plans and Notion templates that I've linked on my website for you guys to download freely if you guys want to use that for your journey of continuous improvement. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.